Welcome, everybody, to the Redzone Report, brought to you by Picasso's Pizza. We are Buffalo Pizza. I don't live in Buffalo, but when I go to Buffalo, I get Picasso's. Go Bills. Welcome, everybody, to the Redzone Report, right here on the Built-in Buffalo YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. If you still call X Twitter, hey, Twitter. But I'm your man, Izzy, back again. It's been a couple weeks, well, a few weeks, because I missed 2 weeks. So it's been 3 weeks since you've seen me, and your boy's back again. Training camp is upon us. Had some business I had to take care of, some family stuff going on. Had a family getaway with wife and kids, and week before that was Father's Day, so had some stuff I had to take care of. We all have families, and when your kids tell your dad you ain't doing nothing on Father's Day, you're coming with us, you go with your kids. This is what it is. So a couple weeks off, also a couple of weeks since minicamp, and we're back at it again, and we're here to talk about training camp that'll be held at St. John Fisher University. Used to be St. John Fisher College. That is my mother's alma mater, so she actually graduated with her degree from there in finance, and very proud of you, Mom. Love you. I don't think she watches the show, but if she does get a chance to see me, your boy loves you, Mama. But guys, training camp is upon us, meaning the preseason is only about a month away. The evaluations of who's going to make this team and who's not, who's going to be starting, who's not, where they fit on the depth chart, and who's out. Man, the guys who are going to be on kickoff, that's another big thing, right? The new kickoff rule. Who's going to make the team because they're good at that versus, who's not. Also, how many guys are we going to need for that? And how many are we not? It's going to be wild. It's going to be a good time, seeing the actual day-to-day practices and the day-to-day evaluations from the media and everybody else who's there. It's going to be so much fun to break stuff down. And I see in my comments, I got Joey Hatch, I got John Robert, I got David Highland. Shoot, man. Jacob in the building. Let's go. Let's go. What's good on my Buffalo Bills brothers and sisters? Let's go. Happy Father's Day, because it is the first time I saw you. Hey, man, appreciate that. And happy Father's Day to you if you're a father, and to all the fathers, happy Father's Day to all you guys. It's been a couple weeks, but I haven't been around since then, so happy Father's Day to all the dads. Love you all. Izzy, what's good, brother? Hey, not much, Joey, hanging out. Jacob, am I going to do a 53? I don't know if I'm doing a 53 today. It depends how much time I have, but if I can, I will. Let's go. Good evening, Mafia and Izzy from Sandra L. King. Another familiar face in the comments. We are already up to 109 viewers. Let's get some likes and some more comments. But let's go ahead and look at this roster and see what's going on here, right? The Buffalo Bills are pretty much set at quarterback, right? Like, the epic battle behind Josh Allen between freaking Shane Buechele and Mitch Trubisky is going to be crazy, right? Nope, not really. We all pretty much know that Mitch Trubisky is the backup quarterback. And there's 0% chance that he, dethrones Josh Allen, barring an injury to Josh Allen, which would surely destroy all of our hearts for the season, But knock on wood, and that's wood. Not going to happen. Our boy Josh Allen's going to be healthy. He's going to be excellent this year. He's going to put his brain to good use this year. So you're getting close, about 2 months, can taste it. Let's go. I'm ready. You folks are ready. I'm ready. I'm ready for camp, though. I'm ready. The season will come when it comes. I'm ready for camp. I want to see what's going on. 70 days until the Bills and Arizona Cardinals, says Joey Hatch. Let's go. So we already know what's up at quarterback. Running back is a little bit of a different thing. Who's going to be the number 2 back? We already know James Cook is going to be the lead back. He's not really a feature back or a workhorse back. He is just the RB1 on this team, right? He's got 2 more years under contract, and they drafted Ray Davis. They also brought back Ty Johnson, who last year for us, he shined. He had some moments where he just looked great. And I say great, I don't mean he looks like a great player, but he played very well within the scheme and did what he was supposed to do. He was a solid pass protector. He caught the ball very well, and he, did his job. And I don't think anybody has any complaints about Ty Johnson and his ability and him being on this team. So the question is, after that, is there going to be a spot for a fullback, or are they going to run 4 halfbacks? Does someone like Frank Gore make the team over a Reggie Gilliam, or is Reggie Gilliam's spot safe and we keep rocking with him? These are questions that will be answered throughout training camp. We're going to see, do they run a fullback often, or do they not run with the one at all? I don't remember in Carolina if Joe Brady's offense used a fullback. I don't remember that. I have to look into that. But Reggie Gilliam has been a pretty good piece for us on special teams and whenever we run with a fullback. And every year he's got, I think, 1 touchdown pass a year. That's not a lot, but it's something. It's definitely something that he can actually be a weapon. He can catch the ball. He can get out there and block. He is a good lead blocker. He's basically a jack of all trades fullback. Kind of reminds me of like Larry Sanders a little bit, but he doesn't catch the ball nearly as much because we don't run that West Coast offense that we ran when we had Larry Sanders. The Bills right now have some spots that are in flux, and fullback is going to be one of them, whether they keep one or not, or whether they keep an extra tight end or an extra running back. And so I think that this is going to be an interesting case at running back. And another question is, how is the running back position going to be affected? Like, are James Cook's touches going to go up? Are they going to go down? Are they going to remain the same? I see them actually coming down just a little bit because of Ray Davis. And David Highland says Davis should be the second back. He's the only power guy we got now. I wouldn't be surprised if next year we look at Davis as the bell cow back. David, I don't disagree with that. He's 5'8", 215 pounds, so he is a steamroller. He's stout. He's a stout guy, and he's not tall. So bigger guys seeing him going into the hole, whenever he's cutting back or getting between the tackle and the guard, or the guard and the center, wherever he's running the ball, it's going to be hard to see him behind those big 6'5" plus offensive linemen. How's that going to go? Is he going to be effective in the NFL? I hope so, and I think so. And in college, he caught the ball very well. He wasn't catching from a Josh Allen who's got crazy powerful arm, but we're going to see what happens. He's definitely a better pass protector than James Cook. I don't know if he's a better pass protector than Ty Johnson, but I do think that Ty Johnson is the number 3 back and that he will play a role and he will get his touches. I think he'll get 40 to 50 touches this year in Ty Johnson. I think that Ray Davis will probably see 100 touches and James Cook will probably see 225 to 250. It's going to be interesting how bringing in Ray Davis and then bringing back Ty Johnson affects this team, and whether the fullback is going to be deleted and they keep a Frank Gore or bring in somebody else, or if they decide to go ahead and roll with the fullback and then those are our 4 running backs. Very, very interesting. Who are you using on the tush push situations? If we decide to run those, are those done now? Is Ray Davis now our big, bruising back who's going to be able to get all the carries and not lose steam like Latavius Murray? Latavius Murray did well for us last year. He just was not injured. He was older and he started to lose steam as time went on. But he was a 6'3", 230-pound back. He was the size of linebackers. He was a big boy. Ray Davis for his height, big boy, stout, and he'll have a lower center of gravity of the guys he's blocking than Latavius Murray did. Let's see how this plays out, because I want to see Ray Davis in camp. I want to see him when the pads come on. I want to see him in the preseason, and we're going to see him in the preseason. We probably won't see a whole lot of James Cook in the preseason. We'll probably see more of Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, Frank Gore Jr., We're going to see more of those guys, and time will tell. But my thought process is that Ray Davis is going to see a good share of touches, probably close to 100, carries. And again, James Cook probably with like 220, 230 carries. And then, Ty Johnson probably with around 50. And then, you have your passing touches. Let's not also forget that Josh Allen runs the ball. Hopefully that decreases some because, he's getting older. He's 28. He's not old by, quarterback standards, but by NFL standards of athletes, he's getting to that spot, 30 to 33, where your athleticism starts to diminish a little bit. So we want to kind of slowly bring him down to more of a pocket passer. Let's see what we got here. We got some comments. Reggie Gilliam plays special teams, like you said. I don't know if Frank Gore Jr. plays special teams. That's very true, but remember the kickoff rule changed this year, so I don't know if that's going to be an effect on it or if it's more of a punt team thing. So I'm waiting to see how that goes because you now have a whole new style of kickoff return, and then you have the same old punt. So how's that going to work? That's the question. Circle the wagons, baby. Christopher Acosta, welcome to the party, baby. David Holland, Davis can pass protect as well, which will factor into his playing time. I think so too, yeah. He's definitely a good pass protector. And my man John Roberts says Gilliam is 244 pounds, and he's like 6'1", 6'2", 244. So he could be an excellent pass blocker as well. He can also be an excellent run blocker. But you're not going to see him get a lot of carries, though. But maybe his receptions will take an increase. Maybe not, because there's not going to be as many balls to go around in the passing game if we decide to go more run heavy, which is what it looks like we're going to do. You don't bring in like a Ray Davis, type of guy who's going to take away touches from James Cook, especially after a season like James Cook had last year. So if you want to keep James Cook at the amount of touches he had carrying the ball, and you want to bring in a running back who's going to be able to take the load that Latavius Murray and Damian Harris were supposed to take, it only makes logical sense that we're going to run the ball a little bit more, and there won't be as many passes towards a Reggie Gilliam. So I like Gilliam, and I hope that if he makes the team, I'm happy for him, and if he doesn't, then I hope he finds a spot to make it because the fullback position seems to be disappearing, kind of rapidly. I wouldn't say he wouldn't have a shot anywhere else. The Giants might pick him up, depending on how Daboll's offense is looking, but we'll see what happens, man. I really do like Reggie Gilliam, and I would not be mad if we kept 3 running backs in Gilliam. But you never know. We have to see how that kickoff rule is going to change the game and how rosters are projected to be built. Now, going to the next position, wide receiver, right? The wide receivers, we have a lot of big dudes. I mean, you got Mac Hollins, 6'4", 225. You've got Chase Claypool, freaking 6'4", 240. You've got Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who's 6'4", 206. You've got Keon Coleman, 6'3", 215. You've got Justin Shorter, 6'5", 220. And we've got big boys in the receiver room. Shavers is like 6'3", 225 pounds. Like, there's some big dudes in that receiver room. We also got some small guys, but not a lot of them. If you consider Khalil Shakir small, I think it's a misconception. He, as a receiver, he's about, 6 foot, 6'1", 190, 195. He's not a small receiver. He's not a big receiver. And so with all the receivers that we have, and John Robert comes in the comments, it's the 13 wide receivers on the team right now. And we're going to keep 6, maybe 7, which could also affect that fullback spot. If we keep 3 running backs and want to carry an extra receiver, you dump the fullback and you bring in 1 more wide receiver. Man, the roster construction for this team is going to be very interesting going forward into this season. And I know I had a roster prediction earlier in the offseason where I had Gilliam on the team, but I'm honestly not sure because I don't remember Christian McCaffrey having a lead blocker. When our boy Joe Brady was over there. I don't remember Joe Burrow having a lead blocker either. Every now and then he just threw a tight end in the backfield and called it a day. And we have Dawson Knox, who has played in the backfield before for us and is a solid blocker and is fast. So you have Dawson Knox coming out the backfield to block that 6'6", 240-pound man. He can also have the running backs hide behind him because he's so tall. I really do like Dawson Knox coming out the backfield as well, but the receiver position is going to be interesting because if they go with like 4 6'4" guys, they're telling you what they want to do. They want to out-muscle people. They want to, out-strength people. Why is my camera so yellow? Anyway, well, that's better. They're going to be telling you what they want to do. They want to outmuscle you. They want to bully you. They want the receivers to like get through press man coverage. And it is what it is, man. When you see these guys going out there, whenever you've seen Chase Claypool win, he's out muscling somebody. Whenever you see MVS do it, he's out speeding somebody. He's just taller, so you just put the ball up in the air high enough, and he's got the ups to go get it. He's not out muscling anybody. He's only 206 pounds, so he's lean for the height. But if you put up a jump ball, he can jump up and get it. And then you see that 6'4" frame coming down the field. You may not understand that he's not that big, but he looks that big to a DB if he's running full speed. And then they can't catch him. So speed is going to be a factor for him. Then you look at freaking Mac Hollins, excellent run blocker. Somebody who can go out there and take care of business in the trenches. So when the running backs are getting going, and that fixed it. Wow. When the running backs are getting going, you can have Mac Hollins lined up in close in the slot, giving an extra lane in the C gap, helping open that up for running backs. Or you can have him outside if you have sweeps or toss plays. That big guy, he knows how to freaking block. And so the dynamic is going to be if Khalil Shakir and Curtis Samuel are the only two smaller receivers, and Curtis Samuel's like 205 pounds at 5'11". He's basically a running back out there at receiver. He played running back before, and he plays out of the backfield at times. That's a whole new dynamic brought to this offense. But if him and Shakir are the only two guys, at or under 6 foot, I believe they're at 6 foot, then what is there to really look at? What is there really to evaluate? If they keep those six in Shakir, Samuel, Coleman, Hollins, Claypool, MVS, they've shown you their hand, and they expect to win with it. And so, yeah, I think that this is going to be a very interesting tell whether they keep 6 or 7 receivers, because we already basically know who we believe are going to be the 6. Is there going to be a 7th? There might be, man. There might be a 7th receiver kept on this team. And, 7 receivers is kind of something you don't see all that much, unless somebody gets hurt and then you get put it on IR. Now you got another receiver, and technically you've got a 7th guy on the roster. No one counts that. So I think Mac was originally signed for special teams. He might have been. Because his contract says that that's what it basically is, right? It's it's less than $2 million. It's not fully guaranteed from what I understand. I can look that up real quick. I have a second screen up there. Mac Hollins contract. Because there are some contracts you give to these 1-year guys, but they're telling nope, okay, it was over $2 million. It's $2.6 million, $500 million or $500,000 signing bonus, and $1.1 million is guaranteed with an average salary. Okay, so $1.1 million is guaranteed. They could cut him and save, $1.5 million. I don't see that happening, but he might have been brought here for special teams purpose, but he's going to see some time on the offense, especially on rundowns. Let's see. They have tweet that injured reserve left, or they have tweet that injured reserve list. Okay. Who's on it? I haven't seen it yet. We'll check it out though, won't we? Let's see. Tight ends. Tight end 3 might be in flux for the Bills. We all pretty much believe that Quentin Morris is going to be tight end 3. We all know Kincaid's going to be the number 1. He's probably going to be the number 1, number 2, pass target recipient. And Dawson Knox is likely number 2 in pass target recipient or reception, or the recipient of how many passes are targeted his way. But Q Morris seems to have a little competition at tight end. Zach Davison, apparently, making some plays out there in practice during mandatory mini camps. There are currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tight ends on the roster. And Zach Davison, apparently the twerking machine that he is, 6'7", freaking 251 pounds. Quinn Morris, 6'2", 252. They're both 25 years old. Morris out of Bowling Green and Zach Davison out of Central Missouri. That's the competition for tight end 3. Trey McKitty, he's on the team. Haven't heard nothing about him yet. We'll see what happens in camp. But I think that Zach Davison and Q Morris are the guys who are competing for tight end 3. That's going to be a spot that's really going to be determined on how good they can block. Quentin Morris, not really that known for his blocking. He is known for in 3 tight end sets, getting open and getting himself a nice first down or touchdown every now and then. Not a big receptions guy. So what's this talking about letting Milano go? I hope it's nonsense. He's my favorite player on the defense. I see right here. This talk about letting Milano go. I hope not. I don't even know if they've saved money by doing that. Maybe next year they do. Let's see. Matt Milano. I mean, there's a time and a place to get rid of everybody, right? Everybody has a time where it's time to go, right? Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde are examples of beloved Buffalo Bills that we definitely do not want to see go anywhere, right? But eventually the time comes where they got to go. Now they're gone. And Matt Milano's out in his deal is after next year. So he's on the team for 2 more years. Okay, so 2024, he's on the team. 2025, he's on the team. And then in 2026, there is an out in his contract. He'll have $11 million in dead cap and will save $38 million, looks like. So there's an out in his deal. I'm trying to understand what this means here. Cap hit $16 million. Dead cap. So we'll save $5 million saved if we cut Milano. The only reason why it's that much is because of the void year in 2027. So Matt Milano's not going anywhere. He's going to be here till at least 2025. 2026 could be the year that he is out of here. He is currently 29 years old. So 2024, 2025, he'll be 31 then. It might be time, or they could extend him if he's still playing well. But to me, as of right now, for the next couple of years, he is invaluable to this team. And so, yeah, I don't see it happening, but it could happen. No one saw Diggs happening. But if they cut him now, 2024, cap hit is $12 million. Dead cap is 29.3. There's no way in hell they're cutting or trading Matt Milano. No chance in hell. He's on this team this year. And then next year, his cap hits $16 million. His dead cap is 17.253. We would actually pay him $1 million to play somewhere else. He's not going anywhere until 2026. I don't see it. So, yeah. People saying that about Milano, I think, are a little brain dead. But anyways, going to the offensive line, right? We don't have a lot of questions, but we have some questions, right? Like Deion Dawkins it's not even a question. He's our starting left tackle, right? Spencer Brown, not even a question. Starting right tackle. Osiris Torrance, not even a question. Starting right guard. The question is at left guard and center. We've been talking about this all offseason. Connor McGovern came out and he's made it well known. I'm playing center. And the staff has made it well known. Connor McGovern is playing center. Barring some crazy stuff that happens with Cedric Van Pran Granger going out there and being elite for some reason, the center position is going to be Connor McGovern. The left guard spot is going to be David Edwards or Cedric Van Pran Granger if he can learn how to play center. Those are your options there as of right now. That's what they're saying. So if we take them at face value, the offensive line starters are set outside of left guard, which most likely as of right now is David Edwards. There's been nothing to doubt or deny that. David Edwards is going to be our starting left guard. Now, the depth of the offensive line is where a lot of the questions lie. Okay? but depth. So, who's our swing tackle? Is it Lyle Collins? You know, is it what's his name? Freaking tackle. Where are you? Ryan Vandermark, right? Alec Anderson. Are those guys our swing tackle? Lyle Collins is a technically a guard, I think, right now. Offensive tackle, Travis Clayton, Richard Garage, and Tylen Grable. Those are our rookies. And then Garage is a guy from last year, Kevin Jarvis. He's probably not making the team. Mike Edwards, he was a rookie free agent that we brought in from Campbell University right here in the Fayetteville area of North Carolina, just north of Fort Bragg, now Fort Liberty. Lyle Collins, those guys are listed as OLs, Collins, Edwards, and Kevin Jarvis. And if you go to just guard, Will Clapp, guard center, Keaton Bills, Gunnar Britton, David Edwards, Connor McGovern. They still have Connor McGovern listed at guard on the website, by the way. So that's something that could be telling. A lot of stuff on here could be interesting. That right there, Connor McGovern still being listed as a guard on the website. Very interesting. Is there a person listed at center? Probably Cedric Van Pan Granger. Center guard, Cedric Van Pan. Yep. So the only person who's listed primary position is center is SVPG. Let's look at some comments here. Joey Hatch's dead news time. Media gonna come up with something. They do, and it's annoying as all can be. Just like supposedly this is Josh Allen's last year in Buffalo. Are these reporters on drugs? They must be on drugs because we don't have an out in Josh's contract till 2027, I believe, 2026. I can pull that up too. There's no way in hell. Dorian Williams is going to be a stud. I think he's already a stud, man. It's just he needs to get his mind prepared. That's it. And it's not he's not trying, is that he's young. And this defense is somewhat complicated. Terrell Bernard, his rookie year, when he got some opportunities, didn't look great. This year, outstanding. Outstanding. Joey Hatch, I don't expect Milano to go nowhere. But by the way, they're talking he's not going to be ready for the season, and we don't know we're getting when he does come back. From what I heard, he's cleared to be at training camp. From what I understand, he's already cleared. I haven't heard what you're hearing. I'm gonna need some sources from you, boss man. That way I can look into these things and see if there's any truth to them. But from what I understand, he's been cleared. So we don't know what we're getting when he does come back. But like I said, I don't see him going anywhere. But this is what reporters are saying. Well, okay. They're teaching Granger to play guard. I heard that too, but he's still listed as a center / guard. Izzy Hoy. I'm not sure what you're saying there. I think you're saying my guy. A lot of backup players on this team don't stand a chance. They bring in veterans at every position. Therefore, your odds are not good as a rookie. I don't know how true that is. Right? A lot of people say that we don't start a lot of rookies, and that's somewhat true, but not super true. Like Christian Benford started his rookie year. You know, Greg Rousseau did, Ed Oliver did, AJ Panessa. See, Tre'Davious White, Deion Dawkins, Milano played his rookie year. It took him a while to get that spot off of Ramon Humber, but he eventually got it. Like, we'll see. We'll see. They got to show out in camp. That's basically what it is. They got to go out there when the pads are on and prove their point, and they can get there. But you got to get there. You have to win the job. And when Jim Graham corrects himself, it says guy. Is he my guy? That's what I thought you meant, but you know. See, Lyle Collins said he's ready to dominate for the Bills. Well, prove it in camp, homie. From what I saw at Mansour minicamp, it didn't look good, but it's minicamp. There's no pads on. No one cares. You know, give me some nice padded training camp. Let's see what you do out there when the rubber hits the road, and I'll be happy to see if you can be a vital piece of this offensive line as a spell player to any one of our guys. It's going to be interesting. Again, backup offensive lineman Cedric Van Prank Granger is making this team. I'm 99.9% sure. Unless something happens to him and he gets hurt, he's on the team. Ryan Vandermark, he's on the team. After that, After that is where I am questioning things because I'm not sure. Richard Garage has, been spoken about very highly. Is probably on his way to the practice squad. Mike Edwards, he's one of those guys who's very young. He's a rookie, of course, but he's 25 years old as a rookie. He's going to have to, hit the ground running. So I'll say that Lyle Collins has a good shot at being that eighth offensive lineman. If we carry not Richard Garage or where is he? Or Alec Anderson might be a guy that has that spot. Very interesting, as I've said many times. This is so good for me. The pads will tell it all. Yes, indeed, sir. Yes, indeed. They will tell it all. One sec. I'm having some sort of issue. Nope. Okay, there it goes. Hold on. Cleared it right up. Pads will tell it all, man. The pads will tell it all. If you go out there in pads and you dominate and you do what you're supposed to do, when the situation is most football-like, that's when you win your job. Right? And you've seen in the NFL sometimes a established veteran will lose their job to a rookie or to a younger player because when the pound, that younger player. We also brought that lineman in from the LA Rams. You talking about David Edwards? Because he's the one I had as starting left guard. He's the one we got from the Rams, and last year he basically played that sixth defensive lineman who basically ran with the end around to or with the jumbo tight end. That's David Edwards. He's most likely our starting left guard this year. So if that's what you're talking about, I already talked about him. He's a starter now. Line. This is where things get really, really like jumbled. Okay. So you have your defensive tackles, and you have Ed Oliver, you have Daquan Jones. They're definitely going to be on the squad. They're making the team. There's no doubt about it. But then you look at your interior or your other interior defensive lineman, and you have Austin Jackson, and you have Williams, I think. Austin Johnson, excuse me, and Deshaun Williams, right? You brought in Gable Stevenson. He's probably a practice squad guy. This is his first year playing football. Branson Dean, he's a potential practice squad guy. Dwayne Carter is making the team. He's a third-round pick. He's going to make the team. They put him on the practice squad or tried to. Someone's scooping him up immediately. Eli Anku, potential practice squad guy again. That's usually where he is. We only have so many veteran-eligible spots in the practice squad, so we'll see. But if I was to sit here and tell you who I think the guys are going to be at defensive tackle, it's Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, Dwayne Carter, Austin Johnson, and then Deshaun Williams. And that's if they keep 5, which they've kept 5 the last 4 or 5 years. They've kept 5. Like last year, it was Daquan Jones, Ed Oliver, Tim Settle, Jordan Phillips, and Puna Ford, right? They kept 5 guys, burgers and fries. And then at defensive end, they did the same thing. Last year, it was Rousseau, it was Epinesa, it was Leonard Floyd, it was Shaq Lawson, and it was Von Miller. Those are your 5. They had 5 defensive ends on the roster last year. And Kingsley Jonathan was also on the roster. So 6, my bad. They kept 6 because Von Miller was on the PUP list for a while, or on injured reserve, one of the two. I think it was the PUP list, physically unable to perform. But he was on that list until later in the season. And he remained on the roster. And when Daquan Jones got put on IR, they brought in Joseph Linval Joseph. I don't know if I see us keeping 11 defensive linemen this year. We did last year, but one of them was on the PUP list for a while. And then a move had to be made later on to bring Von Miller back from the PUP list. And I don't remember them cutting somebody else. Somebody else might have gone on IR, though. Like Jordan Phillips might have been on IR or something. But at defensive end, it's going to be Greg Rousseau, AJ Epinesa are probably your starters now. Von Miller's going to go in there probably on the Leonard Floyd role, a diminished role. When I say diminished, I don't mean less important. I mean less snaps. Von Miller's probably going to see far less snaps. And hopefully his efficiency will be very high on fewer snaps. So that way his older body, because he's older, he's 35, 36 years old, is going to be able to hold up for the whole season And with the diminished amount of reps, he'll then be able to last longer and be healthier throughout the season. I think that Von Miller is going to be solid this year. I think he'll get 9.5, 10 sacks this year. Is he going to be the old Von Miller where he was getting 16 sacks? Probably not. But if we can get 10 out of him, I'm happy. How happy were we all when we got 10 sacks out of Leonard Floyd this past year? 9.5 sacks out of Leonard Floyd. Everybody was happy about that. I was happy about that. 9.5 sacks, nothing to sneeze at from a guy who's on the field for 30% of the snaps, 20% of the snaps. That's what I see for Von Miller. And then also Von Miller bringing forth the kid I just seen mentioned in comments by John Robert, Javon Solomon. Yeah, I like Javon Solomon a lot. He reminds me so much of Von Miller, and the size difference is very, very similar. Like, they're both 3-4 linebackers, but they're playing in a 4-3 scheme. But when we play nickel, which is almost what we're always in, you can kind of count it as a 3-3-5 when you have a Javon Solomon or a Von Miller out there, because they're usually not putting their hand in the dirt. Usually they're just kind of kneeled over and, playing as a defensive end or in the spot of a defensive end with a big defensive tackle next to him. But they're rushing almost like a 3-4 line. It's almost like it's a hybrid spot, that spot. It's like a hybrid position. That weak side defensive end is basically like a weak side linebacker who is rushing the passer. It's also the side that usually Taron Johnson's lined up on, but that will change depending on where the offense lines up their receivers. I like the kid. I like Javon Solomon. So I think he's going to make the team, but he's going to have to prove it, right? And he's going to have to prove. I have faith in the kid, is what I'm saying. I got faith in the kid to go out there and learn from Von Miller. He was excellent in college where he was at Troy. I believe it was 16 sacks in college. And it was at Troy, but it was still 16 sacks in college. Right? And that's something that's it's a natural skill for him, it appears to be. And who better to teach him than Von Miller? So I see him making the team. So it's Epinesa, it's Groot, it's Von, it's Solomon, and then there's one more spot. And while I like Casey Toohill more because of his motor, Smoot is a guy that they brought in, Dwayne Smoot from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's 6'3", 264. Casey Toohill 6'5", 254. Smoot is stouter. He's better against the run. Doesn't have the same motor as Toohill, but he has more overall NFL success. And last year he had a down year. He was coming off injury, but his contract says quite a bit. Let me go ahead and look it up. DEWA. Dwayne, where you at? Oh, UANE. DEW. Smoot. Oh, Lord have mercy. Contract. There we go. Nope, that's last year's contract. Dwayne Smoot. I spelled it wrong. So with the Bills, he has 3 void years on his contract. Right? He's gotten 3 void years, so he's probably making his team. If the Bills cut him, the dead cap is $1.75 million. Most of his void money is next year. It's a dead cap of that's when his dead cap is going to basically take place. But they gave him a signing bonus for 5 years to equal out what it was. So yeah, that's crazy. His cap hit this year though is only $258,000, and they split that amongst all the years. I know his cap hit this year is 1.4. Excuse me, signing bonus for each of those. Man, they need to get this format better. So man, his total salary was $2.5 million. Signing bonus 1.29. Yeah, he's making the team. So if they cut him, it's 1.75 million they have to pay him. He's guaranteed that at signing. I doubt that they're going to dump him, for Casey Toohill. It's almost like they've already guaranteed. But if they're going to keep 6 defensive ends like they did last year, there's a spot for a Casey Toohill or a Kingsley Jonathan, or maybe they keep Toohill and Smoot and then put Solomon on the practice squad, which I don't want to see, but could happen. It very well could happen. But yeah. Oh, there we go. There we go. Good news because Von Miller has no brace. Yeah, he's been braceless his whole offseason, so heck yeah. Scott Blakely comes in. Von Miller, comeback player of the year, 13 sacks, all at critical times of the game. I like that. I got to say, I like that. That's beautiful. You are speaking to my heart, my friend. My heart cherishes that take, and I hope that that is correct. So you give me a sip of water. Woo! See, what is Toohill's dead cap? That's what I'm pulling up now. Casey Toohill. So this year, he's only signed. He's got no void years. Dead cap is $15,000. So he signed a 1-year deal for $1.14 million. Signing bonus was $15,000. He's guaranteed at signing was $15,000. And so if we cut him, we save $1,105,000. Or $1,105,000. So yeah, his cap hits 1.015. Whoop-de-doo. Dead cap is nothing with Toohill. So we'll probably Smoot over Toohill. We signed Toohill first. He signed, that contract, and might have been a death note for the year for him. But I really hope that he turns out in camp and makes them keep him. I would almost prefer that we keep him over Deshaun Williams at defensive tackle, because then you have your defensive end room full, and then you have some guys at defensive end who can kick into defensive tackle and play 3 technique if you needed to, like an Epinesa could probably kick in there depending on his size. I'm not sure if he's still over 260, but Groot can jump in there. He's at like 275. You got Smoot, who has kicked in on the inside on occasion. He's 270 pounds or so. So yeah, I like that option of having 6 guys on the outside, 4 on the inside. Maybe you throw somebody on the practice squad like an Elianku, but I don't know about Deshaun Williams making the team. He's 6'1", 295, so he's a 3 tech, and you have 3 of those now. So you have Dwayne Carter, you have Ed Oliver, you have Deshaun Williams, you have 2 1 techniques in Daquan Jones and Austin Johnson, both of them 320 pounds and 315 respectively. They both went to Penn State together, even if it was only for a year. I like the guys that we have at defensive end, but some of these guys are defensive tackle, but I can see us carrying 4. The pads will make the difference. Also, guys, how's my tan? I look browner, don't I? Last weekend, I went to Water Country, USA with the family, and it was a good time. And I got sunburnt all over my shoulders because my shoulders never see the sun. And so now I'm peeling real bad. You see how much whiter that is? I'm still somewhat tan, but yeah, I burnt pretty bad. Sucked. It sucked so bad. It was horrible. My wife said, "You want some sunscreen?" I was like, "No, I'm brown. I don't burn." Yes, the hell I do. Yes, I do. Oh man, it was so bad. Now I'm peeling. It's been a week, and this morning I was washing myself in the shower, right? And I had my borrowed Dr. Squatch, and I got the one of the gritty ones, and I hit my shoulder, and I felt the skin start. I was like, "Oh no, it starts." So undershirts are going to be on deck all week for sure. I wear undershirts anyway, but like full T-shirt instead of A shirts. I'm going to be on deck for the whole week. That way I can peel and not feel gritty inside my work shirts. Oh, Lord have mercy. I did have fun, John Robert. I did. I went to Virginia, and it was a good time. Went to Busch Gardens on Saturday, and on Sunday we went to Water Country USA. They have discounts for veterans, so we take advantage, baby. It's 50% off. We get the meal plans, and we just walk through the park at Busch Gardens. And then the next day, I'm almost 40. You know, I did two things at Water Country USA. I did the wave pool, and I did the lazy river, and that's it. That's it. That was a good time, though. So I recommend those parks to anybody. And if you're a veteran, you get discounts. Check out ID.me. But that's not a sponsor of anything. That's just me trying to help my guys out. But it's a great time. If you get a chance, go. They're awesome parks. And if you can go to Busch Gardens in the fall, Hollow Scream is the thing to see. Get there and then stay past 7 when it gets dark and they have all the vampires and the zombies come out. It's a blast. It scare the hell out of your children. All right, we got off subject there, but got to break the monotony sometimes, right? Football's nice, family's nice. We can talk about both. Oh. So now, on to the linebackers, which we have a ton of linebackers. We have a bunch of freaking linebackers. And here's a funny thing here before I get to linebackers. Javon Solomon on the Bills website is the only player listed as edge. So if you look at all the other defensive ends, at defensive end, we got Rondell Bothroyd, Cameron Klein, AJ Epinesa, Kingsley Jonathan, Greg Rousseau, Dwayne Smoot, Casey Toohill. And then you have the defensive tackles, Eli Onku, Dwayne Carter, Branson Dean, Austin Johnson, Daquan Jones, Ed Oliver, and Gable Stevenson, and Deshaun Williams. And then after that, the next letter after D is obviously E, right? Edge. Javon Solomon is the next guy. Thank you so much. It's good. It's nice to be here all the time, but sometimes it's nice to be missed. But the family needed me, and so Sunday is usually my day. It's my day. Like it's my day and it's God's day, right? So usually I sit and I pray on Sundays, and I do some football study on Sundays, and then I talk to you guys on Sundays. That's how I usually conduct myself. I really, really value my Sundays. It's the only day off I'm guaranteed every week. Like this weekend, I'm only off today. I wasn't off yesterday, and I'm not off tomorrow. And then next weekend, I'm off Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So every weekend is my schedule, is just like that. And so Father's Day falling on Sunday and being my one-day weekend, my kids were like, no, we demand a Sunday from you. Like, you can pray, you can do whatever you need, but you're not doing your show. Fine, okay. And then the next weekend, family time. And then this weekend, I'm back. I've been doing a lot more praying lately, so praise God. But yes, vacations are necessary, family time is necessary, and allowing your family to show you appreciation is necessary, especially as a provider to that family, because being a provider can become monotonous and can become resentful if you do not allow them to show you the love that you show them. And so family, like you said here, family is first. They are my first priority in everything. People wonder why I am the way I am and why I'm so guarded and in my personal life. I'm so like withdrawn and kind of to myself. I've been to war. I know what people do. I've seen the world. There's very nice places. There's very not nice places. There's some very nice people out there, and there's some very horrible people out there. I'm not trying to figure out who's who for everybody. I will give people a chance, but if I get some vibes off you, you will be kept way further than arm's reach. And so that's how I treat everything. And people wonder why. Well, I am a veteran, and I've seen the good and the bad. I appreciate the good, but I'm leery of the bad. So family is first, last, and always, along with my faith. And after all that is football. If I had to pick between God, my family, and football, I get two, football's out of here. So, but I love football, and luckily God's not making me make that choice. Anyways, so yeah. Strange thing about the roster here is just like Cedric Van Pran Granger is the only guy listed as center, Javon Solomon is the only guy listed as an edge. Now, moving on to linebackers, let's go see what kind of weird nonsense they're doing with this. They have one guy listed as a middle linebacker, and that's Deion Jones. He's the only guy with MLB as his position. So I'm guessing that he is strictly a green dot guy. He is strictly a middle linebacker, and he will play no other position on this team other than middle linebacker. So if something happens to Terrell Bernard, if Deion Jones makes the team, he is that middle linebacker. Now, we go up and we go down the list. Joe Andreessen, Cinderella story from the Buffalo area. Terrell Bernard, he was our Cinderella story last year when Tremaine Edmonds was gone and he got hurt, and Tyrell Dawson had to freaking contend with himself at linebacker and still lost the job. Terrell Bernard comes in and balls out for us and looks excellent. Love that he did that. Let me see. There's a message here, but I don't know. Yep, doesn't say anything. I was making sure that I was missing something. Maybe it was written some font that I couldn't see, but yeah, freaking Terrell Bernard just comes out of nowhere. Matt Milano has an excellent year until he gets injured and breaks his leg. I think that, Matt Milano coming back is a blessing to this defense, because him and Terrell Bernard together last year for those first 4 games was magical. They played off each other. They were both fast. They both, took the ball away. They both forced fumbles. They both forced interceptions. They both forced teams to go away from their tight ends. Like, you have Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard. Like, that is freaking outstanding at linebacker. Give me some of that. But if they get hurt, you got guys to replace them. Right? They got Von Miller listed as a linebacker. We all know he's an edge rusher, right? But Nicholas Moreau came from the Eagles last year. Started the whole season. Looks solid. Balen Spector, who I do really like, possibly looking like he's on his way out. The injury bug has got him. When he's gotten his opportunities, he's looked good. He's going to have to make it through camp and then prove that he's worth one of those top 6 spots. They're going to keep about 6 linebackers. They always do. He's going to have to outperform quite a few people, because we already know it's Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard at the top. We already know that Nicholas Moreau or Deion Jones is probably making this team. Edifon Ulufosio is probably making this team. Dorian Williams is probably making this team. So out of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 linebackers. I know my man John Roberts said that there was 8. It's if you count Von Miller, who I don't. He's an edge rusher. There's 7 on the team right now. One of these guys, there's 8. My bad, Joe Andreessen. So you wasn't counting him. My bad, John. Joe Andreessen. 2 of these guys are going to get cut. I think Joe Andreessen ends up getting cut and put on the practice squad, and then either Nicholas Moreau, Balen Spector, or Deion Jones, one of those guys will get cut. Let's see. Steve Noble comes on here and says Spector is good. He just needs to stay healthy. So Steve Noble or Steve Noble. It depends on if he's Hispanic or not. It'll be Esteban Noble. Esteban Noble. I'm Hispanic. I got to Spanish everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything turns into reggaeton with me. But if I'm a betting boy, and if Ulufosio is making the team, Dorian Williams is making the team, along with Matt Milano and Terrell Bernard, it's going to be Deion or Moreau. I'll be honest, I like Deion more. I've seen him play more. I've seen him play in Atlanta, but he's older. He's 29. He's only a year older, though. He played at LSU, played at a better college, even though, Nicholas Moreau, coming from Greenville. I'll let them decide that. I don't want to project that. I'll wait till a few weeks into camp before I do a 53. Because, again, the pads shall decide. The pads shall decide. Not me, not you, no one else. The men in the front office, the men on the field coaching, those guys will make that decision. But, I wouldn't mind a pleasant surprise, like if both those guys end up getting cut, if Joe Andreessen comes out there and just outperforms them. I wouldn't be mad. I'd be like, all right, shoot. Like, I mean, if the kid's coming out of here, he's a rookie, out of UB, and we've seen it before. We've seen Cam Lewis come out of UB and then outperform guys who should have been better than him, and they weren't. I wouldn't be mad at it, but it is a long shot. But I wouldn't be mad. I'll leave it there. But the four guys I see making the team off the top is Terrell Bernard, Matt Milano, Dorian Williams, and Edifan Ulofoshio. I saw Ulofoshio play at Washington. I was impressed. He's got to work on his staying healthy too, but the Bills have a very good, training staff. I know injuries happen on the field sometimes, but for the most part, preventative health, they're very good at it. And so we'll see. I mean, there's a reason why Josh Allen was able to play through the last 2 years, even dealing with like an elbow 1 year and then a shoulder the other. The preventative health was able to help him get through the entire season that way and then perform excellent in the playoffs. Now, moving on from linebacker is cornerback. And there's less questions there as of right now. The biggest question is, are they bringing somebody else in, right? It's the biggest question. Let's see. At corner listed, we have Christian Benford. He's starting. Russell Douglas, he's starting. Kyron Brown, long shot to make it to the team. He's 33 years in the NFL. Could be a practice squad guy. With only 3 years NFL experience, that's possible. He's already 28, though, so he played college till he was 25. Kaiir Elam, he's making the team. So will he be able to steal a starting spot? That's the question. Is he going to be able to prove it in training camp? Because when he's been on the field, it's been mixed reviews, mixed results. He's been, like really good on plays and then like lost on other plays. Like the playoffs was an example. Like he gave up the first down and then he gets the interception. And then it's like you were pissed at him. And then all of a sudden, whoa, let's freaking go. You were super upset. Like, oh man, they're going to freaking score on us now, man. Damn, come on, Elam. What are you doing? And then he's like, I'm picking the ball off. Thank you. Have faith. So he's going to have to prove it, but there's a chance he steals a job here. Daquan Hardy, he's going to be our backup to Taron Johnson, who is also on this list here. Jamarcus Ingram, he's going to have a chance to make the team. He could be our fourth outside corner. Jamarcus Ingram. He's proven that he can play, through years now of being with the Bills. He's been in the NFL for 1 year. He's another UB guy at corner, 6'2", 190. He's got the size. I think that the kid can sneak onto this roster. So if I'm looking at six, Christian Benford, Russell Douglas, Kaiir Elam, Jamarcus Ingram, Taron Johnson, and Daquan Hardy could be it. I am not ready to sleep on Kenny H. Lovely though, or Kenai Lovely. I think that's how I heard it was supposed to be pronounced, but it's not spelled that way. The first part is Kenai. I'm sure Kenai H. Lovely. 5'10", 176. He's a little, underweight, but he's fast. He's quick. He gets around the field pretty well. And he's an outside corner at that size. So we'll see what happens out of Western Michigan. I like the tape I watched. Then there's Takori Couch. He's a rookie free agent out of the University of Miami. Then you have Dee Delaney, who played at the University of Miami. Last year he was with the Buccaneers. He played there for a few years. Cam Lewis. He's listed at DB. He's probably going to be our fourth or fifth safety. Kendall Williamson, I don't know a lot about him. He's from Stanford. He's a 1-year player. And then that's it. We go to safeties. We already know who they are. Cole Bishop, Taylor Rapp, Mike Edwards, and DeMar Hamlin. Those are our four guys listed at safety. We all know Cam Lewis doubles at safety and corner. Let's see what we got. Some comments here. I like having comments to read. You guys help me move to a different or better point sometimes with your comments. So please don't be afraid to comment. I know you're listening. Yeah, if you have a comment or a question, like drop it in there. If I know the answer, I'll answer it. And if I don't, I'll try and find it. See, Kaiir Elam played real well in minicamp, and I think that's due to that new DB's coach. Helping him, because the new DB's coach came from Georgia by way of Miami. So he played this last year, or he coached this last year in Miami, University of Miami Hurricanes. And the year before that, he coached at the University of Georgia. And the SEC is mostly man coverage. All right. Moved to the ACC. Now he's coming to the Bills, where he's going to help Kaiir Elam learn to play zone coverage through the lens of man coverage, if that makes sense. And it's been looking pretty good. I like it. Oh, Taron is our best player on defense. The best ability is availability. I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to argue that. Normally, look, I'm the arguing type. If I don't think something's true, I'll argue it. But I don't know if that's true. But I don't know if it's not true either. Taron Johnson is probably the most underrated player in the NFL. Taron Johnson's probably the most underrated player, the most underappreciated player, the most underspoken of player in the NFL. Like, Taron Johnson is a stud. His mind is now sharp. When he was younger, he had some brain farts here and there, but he was a young player. He is now hitting that ultra instinct and just dominating at nickelback. And this year, he will remind you that Elam has started in 3 playoff games and has 2 interceptions in those games. He will be just fine. He just needs to learn zone from a little more. Exactly, yeah. And that's what I meant, is that he's going to have to learn how to play zone through the lens of man. And he had Sean McDermott, who's a zone coach. His scheme is mostly zone. Most NFL schemes are mostly zone, right? But you have to be able to translate one to the other, right? And so you bring in a guy from college who knows how to run both very well, who can then help this young guy who's mostly a press man corner learn to adopt this zone thing into what he did as a man cover corner. I like it. See, I read Corey Couch has played well. I'm gonna have to do some more reading. You got to give me some of your sources, man. I got to do some more reading. See, Deion Jones is a sneaky good pickup at linebacker that will thrive in this scheme. Oh my God, Matt and Terrell better stay healthy. So if Deion Jones is a sneaky good pickup, which I do agree, he's a sneaky good pickup. He's had some health issues too, but if he is a sneaky good pickup, and one of those guys gets hurt, probably Terrell. If it's Deion Jones going in, because he's listed at middle linebacker only, so I'm guessing that they're not trying to have him, use position flex. He's going to be, if the middle linebacker goes down, it's him, and if it's outside linebacker, it's one of the other guys, which I would be willing to bet is Dorian Williams. Yeah, I like the Deion Jones pickup a lot, and it was for cheap. DeMar is even working hard by himself before training camp. DeMar Hamlin this offseason, I've been saying that he's probably not going to make the team. I might have been wrong about that. From what I've heard, he's looking good. He's looking like the DeMar Hamlin before the injury, and that's saying a lot. That speaks volumes about the resilience of that young man. I thought it might be over, or that he might be shipped off. I may be mistaken, my friend. Might be mistaken. Whew. I ate dinner before the show. It's got me a little bit with the itis. Oh. See, DeMar Hamlin putting in the work. Showed him doing footwork drills. I saw the video. Yes. He's definitely putting in the work. Absolutely. Taron Johnson is a leader. He is a leader. And he's definitely going to have to take a step up in leadership this year. The Buffalo Bills said they would work with Elam, but I think his time in Buffalo is about over. If you don't show something this year, I can't give him a roster spot next year. That's true. Because after this year, they have to pick up his, 5th-year option. And so what you would do is you trade him, get what you can, and then let the other team decide. And if you send him to a team that runs more man coverage, then so be it. But I think that he's going to be good. I think he's going to be fine. See, I want Kareem Hunt, although he may not fit the culture. Remember late last season, we had the Fournette saga. I don't know what we mean by the culture. Like, the culture, I think, is a team thing. I don't think it's as much a personal, what you've done in the past thing. Like, they brought in some questionable characters. Let's not kid ourselves. But I don't think that they want to necessarily. So, he's a first-round pick. What do you think he would get back for a bust first-round pick? Probably a 5th to a 7th, late-round pick. But you'd get something for him. You get you a 6th-round pick. And then, the other team would, try him out and see. But there we go. Jamal Adai. I think you spelled Jamal wrong, but I think it's Jamil Adai, actually. But yeah, he's been doing excellent work. I really do enjoy hearing what I'm hearing about Jamal Adai or Jamil Adai. But yeah, Elam, this is his third year, and McDermott always preaches that a player's third year is the year that you find out who that player is. They said he's got a clean slate. It's really going to be about him taking advantage of that. And I'm hoping that he is capable of doing that. I mean, I'm before you take my correction so serious, John Robert, which I don't mean to, cast, aspersions or anything. Let's see. Adai, where you at, brother? Ciano, did I pass him? Homer, Henry, Harkney, Dana, Curry, Edwards, Boris, Booker, Jamil, yeah, JAHMILEADDAE. Yeah, so Jamil Adai. So now you can take your talking to this messing with you, man. But yeah, thanks for the live show, Morning Maya and Linda West. All right, Miss Linda, you are very welcome. Thank you for being here and watching. Anybody see what Buffalo Sabres have done in the draft? I know they in the first round they drafted some guy named Christos. He's from Finland, I think. But I'm not a big hockey guy, so this year I plan on actually trying to get into hockey. I plan on trying to get into hockey. I've been trying to get back to the NBA as well, so that way I have sports to watch when football is out of season, other than MMA and boxing, and it's been interesting. Baseball is getting more interesting too now that they have the pitch count or the pitch timer, so we'll see what happens. You're very welcome, John Robert. You know I'm not going to hold nothing against you, man. I spell stuff wrong all the time. I do, even my name sometimes. I'm wilding. All right. But yeah, safety, we might keep all four of those safeties. I think that, it's possible that we keep Hamlin, Edwards, freaking Rapp, and Bishop. Rapp and Bishop are going nowhere. If any of those guys are cut, it's going to be Hamlin or Edwards or D. Delaney. I think D. Delaney is definitely probably not making the team, but he's got a shot. Again, pads on, that aside. But the camp battles are going to be very interesting. So, like at cornerback, you've got freaking what's his name? Kenai Lovely versus Jamarcus Ingram, right? That's a camp battle for that last spot. It's a camp battle for the last spot on the roster, or for the last spot at corner at least. Then you look at linebackers, that Balin Spector versus Nicholas Moreau versus Deion Jones. That's a battle. And Joe Andreessen, you can throw him in there too because he's in the battle, but he's going to have to do a lot to win that battle. He's the low man on the totem pole, so to speak. Even though the way totem poles work, the strongest person is at the bottom because he can hold the weight of the rest of them. I don't know if people knew that, but that's how they work. Let's see. If Hamlin wins the starting position, do you trade Edwards or keep him at safety for a backup after paying him starting money? Did we pay him starting money? Let me look that up. Mike Edwards. Let me see what it takes to get out his contract. I told you I would look it up if I didn't know. And I guess I did not do that good. Mike Edwards. Safety. There's 3 Mike Edwards in the NFL and 2 of them on the Bills. All right, so 2024, he signed a 1-year, $2.8 million deal. Signing bonus is $1 million. Guaranteed at signing is 1.6. So if we cut him, we save $1.2 million. He's not guaranteed to be on this roster at all. We'll see what happens if we cut DeMar Hamlin. If Hamlin wins the starting job, then that boy wants it, right? If he wins the starting job, I'm applauding him very well. But he's only got a dead cap of $40,000. So if we cut DeMar Hamlin, we save $1.05 million or $1.055 million. And if we keep him, we owe him, $1.095 million. So we'll see what happens. He's gonna have to do it. He's gonna have to really win that job. Or Edwards' contract small with a lot of incentives. It's not small, but it's not big either. Like cutting him makes less sense than cutting Hamlin. Okay. So if Hamlin's looking good, he's a trade candidate, in my opinion. If he goes out there in the preseason, he plays his ass off. He's a trade candidate. You can look at a team like the Steelers who could use the safety opposite from freaking Minka Fitzpatrick, and that would be his home. You can send him home. Or anywhere that needs a safety. Denver is probably looking for a safety right now since they cut Justin Simmons. Send him over to Denver. Wouldn't be mad at it. But his contract numbers would tell me he's more of a trade candidate or a cut candidate. So if he plays really well, likely to be traded. Plays not so well, likely to be cut. Unless they intend on keeping 4 safeties, 6 corners, and then Cam Lewis has that jack of all trades, go wherever you got to go guy. Very possible. But technically, paid Hammond's contract in full when he went down. Technically, but if you look at the spot track, his total dead cap for his whole contract was only $160.476 million, or $160.476 thousand. Excuse me. So his contract is not a lot of fully guaranteed anyway. If they cut him after his first year, it would have saved us money. So it's not that big a deal. Not that big a deal. See, Hamlin said he would love to play in Pittsburgh, so maybe they trade him to Pittsburgh. That'd be my best guess. You want to try and do right by your players, right? It sends a message to the rest of the NFL like, hey, if I can't play for them, if they're not a fit for me, then they're going to send me somewhere I want to go, right? It sends a very positive message about you're not going to fit here, but we'll send you somewhere you want to be. That's admirable. Who would complain about that? Well, they had their guys and they sent me home. And they didn't send me home as in like on the couch. They sent me home with a roster spot where I can try and earn my keep on this other team with an opportunity to play. Going the extra mile and not worrying so much about the financials or what you get in return in draft capital gives you a return in reputation, right? You now have a reputation of being good to the players who come to your team. The people who sign to you, you show loyalty back to them. That goes a long way. Goes a very long way. See, DeMar Hamlin has even had an interception. I like DeMar. Hey, if he makes the team, if he earns a starting job, Taylor Rapp's only on a 1-year deal. You can get out Taylor Rapp's deal next year, and you can re-sign Hamlin. It just depends on how it plays out. I'm just saying the likeliness of these things. I can't guarantee any of it. I'm just saying that's what it could be. Joey Hatch, let's go. 100. You understand? You do right by me, I'll do right by you, right? And if you do right by me and other people see it, then people see that you are willing to do the right thing. That's all it is. That's all it is. You do the right thing, people recognize it, they know you'll do right by them, they'll come to you. Now, the special teams guys. Tyler Bass is the only kicker on the team. He's our kicker. He's not going anywhere. His contract says so. I know there's going to be some people who say, need a new kicker. Every kicker ever, not named Justin Tucker, has had a dry spell where it just wasn't clicking. Hopefully he can get over it and we can get past it. And he can be our beloved Tyler Bass again. Punter, on the other hand, that's a spot we can look at. With Jack Browning and Sam Martin. Sam Martin's 12 years in. He went to Appalachian State, and I believe he's from Western New York, Western Pennsylvania area, right? Jack Browning played at San Diego State. Also one heck of a punter. And he played kicker, so he could be someone that they have on the team. If they were to cut Sam Martin, which they could, wouldn't be too big of a deal. You cut Sam Martin, you keep Jack Browning, he's your punter and your holder, so long as he can hold, which Sam Martin's not been the greatest holder. Jack Browning as your kickoff specialist / punter, right? Because you're not going to keep 3 kickers. You're not going to keep a punter, a kicker, and a kickoff specialist. But if this other guy can punt and be a kickoff specialist and then be a holder, well, that guy does a lot for you. That's a lot for you. And so Jack Browning is a guy I can see the Buffalo Bills retaining and then parting ways with Sam Martin, who I do like. He came in the pinch when the whole, Matt Ariza thing happened, and Matt Hawk was the guy here, and they were like, we don't want any more of that crap. And that first year he was excellent. Last year, not so great, but you gotta say thank you to the guy for showing up and doing his best for the team. His contributions may no longer be necessary, but you now have a stud rookie in Jack Browning. I like that a lot, especially with the new kickoff rule, being able to place the ball. I think that him doing that and punting is a better option than having Tyler Bass, who's just known to be a thunderfoot, out there just kicking touchbacks to the 40. So, yeah. And we all know Reed Ferguson is going to be the long snapper. He's not going anywhere. He's one of the best long snappers in the NFL, and the Bills ain't letting him go nowhere. So, that being said, the team, the training camp battles, the punter one is an interesting one. Wide receiver, that's going to be pretty interesting. When I look at all the receivers on the team on the roster, I'm going to go ahead and list them off. So I didn't do that. We got Chase Claypool, Keon Coleman, KJ Hamler's an interesting one, speed demon, but has had injury issues. Mac Hollins and Andy Isabella. Mac Hollins, special teamer and big body boy. Andy Isabella, special teamer, slot receiver. Xavier Johnson. I've heard some things about him, but he's more of like a trick play guy. He's not really going to be a guy who is a great route runner or anything like that, but he can play out the backfield pretty well. He's 6'1", 210, so he's built like a running back, but I don't know if they keep him. Maybe they do keep him, as a gadget guy like that. We'll see. He was a quarterback before he was a wide receiver, if I'm correct. Lawrence Keys from Notre Dame. He finished his career at Tulane in college, but he's a speed demon. Could be someone to look at as kick returner. Curtis Samuel, he's making the team. Khalil Shakir is making the team. Tyrell Shavers, big body guy, 6'4", 211, shorter, 6'4", 223. Brian Thompson, 6'1", 195. He's from Arizona State. He's got 1 year NFL experience, but I'm not sure where. I heard he looked pretty good at times in camp, but it was like third string guy. So we'll see what happens there. And MVS, we all know what he brings to the table. He had a pretty good year his first year in KC, or in 2022 in KC, but last year 2023 not so hot. But in the playoffs he came on. I really think that this team has some battles that they're going to be watching, mostly at receiver, corner, safety, linebacker, and probably defensive end. They're going to have some pretty pivotal battles in those positions. Also punter. O-line. There's a lot of battles going on. People are going to have to prove their worth in them pads. So it is what it is. Chris 716, what up, Izzy? What up, baby? How you doing? Let's see. All that stuff you're just talking about is because Buffalo did not do the due diligence when they drafted Punt God. No, I think they knew, but I don't think that they, or maybe they didn't know. I don't know. They said they didn't know, but if they did know, that happens. But look how it ended up. Ended up that he wasn't there. Cameras verified. And his name was lied upon by the victim of the crime, but from what it looks like, that whole thing's gonna be turned out because the video evidence says otherwise. And I don't want to say much other than that because the reports are pretty rough. I don't wish anything like that upon anybody's daughter or son or anybody, and I also don't wish false accusations on anybody. It ruins people's lives. But the court will play that out. I just know that his name was taken off of it because he was not involved, and now he's a Kansas City Chief, for Christ's sake. Anyway, of course they'd steal him from us, but it is what it is. We threw him away, then went through our trash and picked it up, and that's fine because, again, he was exonerated. But it sucks that he was put in that position. And that mistake will come back to kick us in our double hockey sticks because he plays for Kansas City now. Yep, I said it. I hadn't read your second comment yet, but yep, that's exactly what it is. Guys, been out here with you guys for an hour and 20 minutes. Gone through all the positions this coming week. Camp. Let's go. Cannot wait. Talk to you guys next weekend. Go Bills. God bless you. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Have the time you deserve. Go Bills.